وقل رب زدني علما.
بسم الله والحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وأصحابه ومن والاه. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. So as you guys can see, or if you guys could see in the B-rolls that I'm going to put on the screen, I'm at Petra here in Jordan, in Amman, somewhere in Amman, wherever Petra is. Wait, I don't think it's in Amman. Regardless, subhanallah, I was just thinking, what kind of reminder can I do here? It's a good opportunity. What can I speak about? And then I remembered the stories of the nation of Ad and Thamud, and how they would build things in the mountains. They would build caves and homes in the mountains. And Allah mentions this in the Quran in many verses. And there's some lessons that we can take away from this as Muslims. As you guys can see, I'm sat on top of one of the mountains now. I don't know if you guys can see, but there are some caves here. Well, I haven't shown you, but they will be in the B-rolls. Listen to what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran. He says in Surah Al-Shu'ara, بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم تبنون بكل ريع آية تعبثون وتتخذون مصانع لعلكم تخلدون وإذا بطشتم بطشتم جبارين. Subhanallah, Allah's talking about the people of Ad, okay? The nation of Ad. And who was the prophet that came to the nation of Ad? It was Hud. And these were a very arrogant nation, okay? They were very strong, they were very powerful. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave them a lot of money, strength, everything really. And so what did they do? Allah says, أَتَبْنُونَ بِكُلِّ رِيعٍ آيَةً تَعْبَثُونَ. Do you build in every high structure, every high place, like I'm in a high place right now, every high place in the mountains, they would go and build something, like a home, or they would carve a structure, as you guys could see in Petra, as you'll see in the B-roll. وَتَتَّخِذُونَ مَصَانِعَ لَعَلَّكُمْ تَخْلُدُونَ. And you would build homes in these mountains, and you wouldn't even live in them. Allah saying, why are you doing that? They only did it to show off, to be prideful, to be arrogant, so that whoever walked past the lands, like we are right now, and they saw these structures in the mountain, they would think, wow, who built this? They must be a mighty and strong people. They loved this praise. They loved this pride. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He didn't like that about them because they were arrogant. They didn't attribute this strength and these favors back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala later on in Surah Al-Shu'ara, He talks about Qawm Thamud, okay? And who was sent to Qawm Thamud? The Prophet Salih alayhi salam. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He says, وَتَنْحِتُونَ مِنَ الْجِبَالِ بُيُوتًا فَارِهِينَ. O people of Thamud, why is it that you build with great skill these structures in the mountains, okay? You're just committing israf, you're just wasting your time and effort and energy. You're not even going to live in them. What is the moral and the message of this video and these kind of things that we see? First of all, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He encourages us to go and explore the land. He encourages us to go and travel. He encourages us to go and look at the world that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created and the remnants of the past nations. Why? As a lesson for us. To think, wow, these people existed and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala destroyed them when they disobeyed Allah. So first lesson is, if you disobey Allah, be very careful. Yes, you might not get hit by a lightning bolt like the people of Ad and Thamud, or a very powerful wind will destroy you and rip you to shreds. That will not happen to you, yes, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can punish you in other ways. So this is the first lesson, that if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has commanded something in the Quran, you follow it, okay? And if Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam has advised you to do something, you do it. Doesn't matter what anyone else thinks. وَمَا أَتَاكُمُ الرَّسُولُ فَخُذُوهُ وَمَا نَهَاكُمْ عَنْهُ فَانْتَهُوا. Whatever the Prophet has commanded you and given you to do, then do it. And whatever he has prohibited it from you, then stay away from it. The nations of Ad and Thamud, they didn't listen to their prophets, and because of that, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He destroyed them. But we can't take that as a lesson in the sense of following them. We have to do different to them. I.e., when the message of Islam comes to us, when the prophets give us the message, listen to that prophet. He's telling you what's for your benefit, for your dunya and for your akhirah. What else do we learn from the stories of Ad and Thamud? Is that no matter how strong and powerful and mighty you are, no matter how much money you have, no matter how high position you are in your company, in your corporation, whatever job you have, do not ever look down upon someone else. Do not ever be arrogant with this power and wealth that Allah has given you. In fact, the more power and wealth that Allah has given you and status, the more humble you should be as a human being. Allah hates the arrogant, but He loves those who are humble. Indeed, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he says in the hadith, لا يدخل الجنة من كان في قلبه مثقال حبة من خردل من كبر. There is not a person who will enter Jannah who has an atom's weight or a mustard seed's weight of arrogance in their heart. Can you believe that? If you have that much arrogance in your heart, you will not enter Jannah. What is arrogance? As Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam later explains in the hadith, it is بَطَرُ الْحَقِّ وَغَمْطُ النَّاسِ. It is to look down upon people, and it is to reject the truth. These are very important things. Let's dissect them. To reject the truth. This means that if someone has advised you something and it is according to the Quran and according to the Hadith, according to the consensus of ulama, and you reject this advice arrogantly and you say, no, this isn't correct, no, that can't be, no, I'm not going to listen to it. This is rejecting the truth when it comes to you. This could be a reason for you to have arrogance in your heart and for you to not enter Jannah. It's very, very dangerous. Another thing is to look down upon people. So you might think you're a really sick guy because you have a sick job, you have a lot of money, you're an entrepreneur, you're a very high-class scientist, whatever, and then you see someone who is perhaps cleaning the streets and you look down upon them. You're rude to them, you're harsh to them. Or when someone comes and asks you for money, you just shoo them away very arrogantly. You know what I mean? You don't even say a kind word to them. Be very careful. This could be a reason for you to enter Jahannam because it's looking down upon someone. So these nations of Ad and Thamud, as you guys could see, who built all these mighty structures, Allah destroyed them, and He says, I can destroy you as well, O Quraysh. If you reject the message of Islam from Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, I can destroy you just like I destroyed them. So follow the Prophet, follow his message, and do not be arrogant and do not disobey him. La ilaha illallah. It is indeed a message for us. When we see these structures, when we see these monuments, we ask Allah for forgiveness. What does Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say in the Quran? وَلَقَدْ أَرْسَلْنَا إِلَى ثَمُودَ أَخَاهُمْ صَالِحًا فَقَالَ يَا قَوْمِ لِمَ تَسْتَعْجِلُونَ بِالسَّيِّئَةِ قَبْلَ الْحَسَنَةِ لَوْلَا تَسْتَغْفِرُونَ اللَّهَ لَعَلَّكُمْ تُرْحَمُونَ. Qawm Thamud, this is who we were talking about. He goes to his people, he says, why is it that you are always doing a bad sin before a good sin? Why is you're always being negative before being positive? Why is it that you're always not rushing to do good deeds, you're rushing to commit sins? Whatever opportunity you get to commit a sin, you go to it. لَوْلَا تَسْتَغْفِرُونَ اللَّهَ لَعَلَّكُمْ تُرْحَمُونَ. Why don't you just ask Allah for forgiveness? Perhaps then you will get Allah's mercy. It is a lesson for us. Ask Allah for His forgiveness. Astaghfirullah, astaghfirullah, astaghfirullah. Oh Allah, forgive me. Oh Allah, I know I sin. Oh Allah, I know I'm weak. Oh Allah, I know I sometimes oppress my soul. But oh Allah, forgive me. This will allow, inshallah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's mercy to come down. And you don't know when this mercy will come down, so that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't punish you for the sins that you commit. And this includes all of us. So the final thing I want to mention is basically that be the opposite of Qawm Ad and Thamud. Be Ibadur Rahman, الَّذِينَ يَمْشُونَ عَلَى الْأَرْضِ هَوْنًا. Allah says that the true slaves of mine, it's not like these people of Ad and Thamud who were arrogant and they rejected the message and they were, all pompous and arrogant and thought they were a big man, okay? No, it is Ibadur Rahman. Those who are the slaves of Ar-Rahman, الَّذِينَ يَمْشُونَ عَلَى الْأَرْضِ هَوْنًا. When they walk upon the earth, they walk very humbly. They walk very humbly, not weakly, not walking like this as if they're weak. No, they walk with their back straight, they're strong, with izzah that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave the mu'mineen, the Muslimin, but they're humble. They do not look down upon people. They're kind to people, they're gentle to people. When they interact with people, they're forbearing, they're patient, they smile. They're not harsh, they don't get angry, they let things go, they pardon them. This is Ibadur Rahman, and Allah loves this category of people. So that is the moral of this story. The moral of this video is, O Muslims, advice to myself first and foremost. When the message of Islam comes to you, when the halal comes to you, take the halal with pride and do it happily. If Allah has prohibited something for you, then we must stay away from it, or Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will punish us either in this life and the next. Just like every single country has rules and regulations and laws that they must follow, so too Islam has rules and regulations and laws that it must be followed in order for society to flourish, in order for the human being to live a proper and good life according to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's desire and will. My advice is now, the final thing is, please go and read Surah Al-Shu'ara, read about the stories of Ad, about Thamud, learn about what happened to them, learn about the miracles that happened in that nation and how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala destroyed them when they disobeyed their prophets. It is necessary upon every single Muslim to learn the lives of every single prophet, from Adam alayhi salam, to Idris alayhi salam, to Ibrahim alayhi salam, to Musa alayhi salam, Ad, and all the other prophets in between, Sulaiman, Dawood, Isa alayhi salam, Zakaria alayhi salam, all of them. It is incumbent upon us as Muslims to learn the stories of the prophets so that we can learn from their lives, so we can take the good and apply it in our lives, and so we can also, inshallah, learn how to navigate life, because they are our role models. So if they knew how to do it, or they did know how to do it because Allah gave them that guidance, then we will know how to act in every single situation in life. I hope that makes sense. Moral of the video is go and learn the stories of the prophets. Make that a homework, make it a task. Sit there half an hour a day, just type in Google stories of the prophets in Islam, or buy a book or watch a YouTube video, stories of the prophets in Islam, and begin your journey of seeking Islamic knowledge, inshallah. I will be starting a Muslim Academy, inshallah, with my good friend Abutorab, where it's going to be filled with a lot of reminders like this and Iman boosters and different topics about Islam. This will be coming out soon, inshallah. I just wanted to give it a little shout out. So when Muslims Reconnect launches, please do join us on this journey of empowering Muslims to try and reconnect them to the Quran, to the Sunnah, to try and reinstill that flame of love of Allah in the Muslims' hearts, so that inshallah we can get to Jannah, the highest level of Jannah one day, so we can be under the beautiful throne of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in Jannah al-Firdaus al-A'la forever and ever. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك سبحان ربي العظيم أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.